Welcome to Nice Ashes. I'm Nate.
And I'm Mike. What are we smoking today, Nate?
We are smoking a Baccarat, I believe, right? Baccarat?
Baccarat, yeah.
Baccarat.
I think it's
Rothschild.
Baccarat.
In
Yes.
James Bond, I thought they always called it Baccarat, but...
Oh, well, maybe they do. I don't know.
Very interesting. It looks like a good cigar. I've never heard of this brand before.
Either have I. The cap is very sweet.
Yes, it is. Let's light this bad boy up.
It's a little harder to light than I thought it was going to be.
It is. I was just noticing that, and I was like, oh boy, is it my humidor or is it just this stick?
Well, I figured I'd mention it because I was like, oh man, it's not that it's wet, but it's...
Yeah, I got it lit now, but...
Yeah.
Well, it was about half lit, and then it was like 3/4 lit, and then I had to really focus on a couple spots, and now it's all lit, so...
Yes. This has a mixture of sweetness and sourness that I'm not liking.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you a lie.
Yes. It's different.
I don't remember how many cigars we have not finished, but this might be one of them from the start. I'm just saying.
We'll see. I think we finished most of them. I think you made me smoke that whole Undercrown Shade, so...
We did the whole Undercrown Shade. I think we put down the Cult Blood Red Moon the first time.
Yeah.
Because the second time I finished it, but boy, this has got a bad taste in my mouth, but we're going to try to wash that away with some ice water.
Yes, I'm trying something new. I was looking up what people like to drink with their cigars. And outside of the kind of the standards is people like to drink root beer while they smoke cigars. So I'm trying some Frost Top Diet Root Beer.
Oh, okay.
I've heard that it also said Dr. Pepper, but I didn't feel like a Dr. Pepper. Felt that might detract too much since that's a fairly unique and distinct taste.
Well, depending on how bad this is, I might go and get a Dr. Pepper or whatever the mix is for my soda stream.
Yeah, depending on how bad this is, I have a can of gasoline in the corner here in the garage, so I can always drink from that.
Right. Drink
Just
bleach,
kidding,
people.
kids. Please don't do that. I know you all ate Tide Pods, but we have to draw the line somewhere.
So, Nate, what is our episode topic?
For once, I don't know, which is exciting to me.
Yes, this is a bit of a surprise. We're going to talk a little history here, and then we're going to get into a news story because it popped up in my stream. So what we're going to talk about today is the word Gimp. Gimp.
Okay. Well, that's just to put it out there right away. That's the name of the open source photo editing package that I use on my computer.
Oh, we're gonna get there.
But I'm assuming.
We're gonna get there.
Okay. I was gonna say, I'm assuming we're not talking solely about the software.
That is also the software that I have on my computer that I use for photo editing.
Yes.
So the term originates in the English language in the 1660s. Initially, it was trimming, ornamental trimming for women's dresses and furniture. And this was in common use all the way until the very late 1800s. An example would be Middlemarch, which was written by George Eliot, and that was in 1871. So the term for the majority of its use was for trimming, which we no longer use. That's archaic. Did you know that?
Is that like the lacy bits around the bottom edge of a dress or something? Or
it was typically cotton cordage that was ornamental in nature. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you
similar
could say
to lace.
or like what the Pope wears with the cord, like the corded robes and things.
Yeah,
you could say that's one gimpy looking Pope.
Well, that brings us up to the next meaning.
Okay.
In 1925, the slang term gammy was crossed with limp for the first usage of the term gimp as a slang for somebody who is disabled, which gammy was apparently injured or lame leg, and limp, which is a limp. So the first recorded...
Yeah, I feel like in those older times, and even 1920s, that there were enough injuries in the general population that they had to have specific words for solely injuring your leg.
Possibly.
But maybe, I don't know, I'm just making stuff up. I mean, we've gotten a lot safer as a society, so we don't really, we don't have dysentery really, or lots of things, polio,
You're right.
So they had a lot of like oddly specific terms to describe maladies that people ran across.
Oh, sure. And gams was a slang term for legs. And I don't know if that's related.
Yeah.
but-
Show me those gams. Well,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like early Looney Tunes and stuff, right? Or a lot of those older,
Yeah, because those guys were older then, so they're using the slang that they were accustomed with as children to make children laugh. You know, kids they're either children or grandchildren's age, you know?
Yep.
So just like we would use old-timey language to describe things now for humorous effect.
That's the bee's knees.
That's the bee's knees. So...
Well, damn it if it doesn't work.
And I'm sure that you've heard of that version of Gimp. I'm sure everybody has.
Yeah.
So now we're going to get a little spicy. And this is the not safe for work portion, kids. So if those of you who are allowing your 5-year-old to listen need to turn off the show and listen to the rest of the recording on your headphones.
And if you're listening and you're enjoying a nice stogie, just don't repeat this back to your parents. Or if you do, tell them you heard it from your best friend's dad or something and not from us.
Yes. So in the 1970s and 1980s, a gimp suit developed as a term in the BDSM erotic literature scene. And it referred to a full-body restraint harness, similar to a leather straitjacket. The term was used because the suit was intended to handicap the user. It took off because the gay leather scene of the 70s, 80s, and 90s apparently really got into these suits.
Okay.
That's not the gimp suit that you are accustomed to, I'm guessing, because I had never heard of this.
Yeah, I know that there's a whole slew of fanciful articles of clothing or things you can wear for different communities, people that are into different things. I know we talked a little bit about some of the things that bronies will wear, but I wasn't 100% sure about like an actual straitjacket. I know I've not seen... somebody described this to me, I think over the radio. You know, some of those like latex bodysuits that have dog collars or places to clip and restrain people.
Ball gags.
It sounds
like
awfully Harrison Bergeron to me, a gimp suit.
That is trying to make this way too highbrow. So...
That's why they come to us. That's why they listen to us. We can be talking about BDSM in one sentence and Kurt Vonnegut the next. You never know.
Exactly. So by 1994, the term had gone mainstream by the movie Pulp Fiction.
Again. Because it was mainstream in, 1660?
It was mainstream in 1871 when George Eliot used it in Middlemarch. and actually, I remember reading Middlemarch and thinking... She just called this gimping, like, or some shit like that. I'm like, what? So, like, it's like, what is this? What? And, you had to look it up because
hopefully there was a little footnote, or was it like an annotated one? You could look down and be like, this refers to trimming out a dress and not the other thing.
Yeah, not the other stuff.
BDSM suit that you're familiar with at home.
Right. So for those who are not aware of the modern gimp suit, which I'm sure everybody is. It is a shame cover made of leather, latex, PVC, or similar material. It covers the entire body, sometimes with openings allowing access to certain parts of the body, and it is intended to humiliate the wearer and degrade them into a sexual toy instead of a person. Gimps are typically male, so it goes back to the original gimp suit's roots in the gay BDSM scene developing.
And the modern version of this gimp suit would still be considered BDSM, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's not fully like a straitjacket.
Oh, yes. Since the mid-90s, the gimp suit has largely remained the same, from my understanding. We're going to look. We're going to see later to see if maybe the gimp suit has developed more meaning.
Okay.
Yes.
I think the only thing worse than this, and talking about bronies, is maybe this cigar so far, but we'll keep powering through.
The cigar is terrible.
Yeah, I think I would almost rather discuss BDSM with my grandmother than smoke this cigar.
This reminds me of those Swisher Sweets that are shaped like real cigars that they would sell 5 packs at the gas stations. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me of that. Like, it's that bad.
I had kind of high hopes with the sweet cap because the factory smoked sweet was so good.
Right.
But anyway, let's keep going with the gimp stuff.
Okay. So keeping right along. 1996 was the first public release of the General Image Manipulation Program. Work began in 1995 at UC Berkeley.
And you were talking about Pulp Fiction a little bit.
Yes. Was that too radical of a shift for you?
Well, no, I wanted to make sure you finished talking about Pulp Fiction, if you didn't.
I
didn't want
absolutely.
the listeners to be teased by Pulp Fiction, and then we skip right over it, and we talk about Kurt Vonnegut instead. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what about
So
Pulp
it
Fiction?
came back into popularity with the film Pulp Fiction, is what you said. Was there more to that, or was that just...
No, it just it came into general public recognition. So initially it was used for erotic fiction and that sort of scene, but it wasn't mainstream to the point where your general non-erotic fiction reader would know the term, you know?
Yes.
So like I, not being a reader of erotic fiction, would never have heard of it.
Yes.
Yes. Which I don't even remember that from Pulp Fiction, to be honest with you. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think
the
of all
scene.
of the memorable things in Pulp Fiction, I don't think that was one of them, but maybe.
No.
Are we going to talk about how come Quentin Tarantino can say the N-word 1,000 times in all of his movies and nobody bats an eye?
But then you have all of grandfathered
these other people,
in.
like
him and like Eddie Izzard are grandfathered in to the new the new regime. Like they just can't do anything wrong. There might be some more people that I'm not thinking of, but it's kind of wild. He can literally
not the
do
point of
whatever
our
he
not
wants.
the point
Yeah.
Not the point of our episode, but
no, it's not. Yeah, no, it's not. Yeah, Eddie Izzard can talk about how he's not a woman and make fun of people that say they are to the end of the earth, and nobody criticizes him. You know, so
yeah. But
interesting.
Bill Burr says one thing, and oh boy,
I know, right? So anyway, 1996, the General Image Manipulation Program was released. It was begun in 1995 at UC Berkeley by then students Spencer Kimball and Peter Mattis, which we talked about earlier.
It's an acronym, like you stated.
Yes.
So I don't know if they intended it to be
given the time
in the same.
They very well could not have known what it meant, or they could have, given their college students and Pulp Fiction was big. So
they have plausible deniability.
They have plausible deniability. And as a side note, 3.0 is coming out very soon. They're going to release it.
Nice.
Yeah. Now, this next one is my first encounter with a Gimp suit. Can you guess what it was? This is a timeline, so it's after 1996.
Okay. Yeah. What was the name of that one chick you were dating? Let's see.
Natalie Portman. I
want to say Catwoman, but that wasn't Natalie Portman.
No. It was not Catwoman, even though that would be a good one. That was Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know that was Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah, that was kind of a Gimp suit.
It was definitely done to be provocative. Like I don't know if it was full on latex or if it was just like pleather.
It was more pleather than anything.
100% sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. That wasn't really a Gimp suit though, because she could see. You know, most Gimp suits you can't see.
Yeah.
So no, it was not Michelle Pfeiffer in Batman Beyond or something like that.
It was Danny DeVito as the Penguin.
No, it was 2004 Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Have you ever played that game?
Okay. I have not.
Oh, in the game, there's a mission where you have to get into a Gimp suit and complete some missions with a Gimp suit on. So I was exposed to it. Yeah, way back then. My younger self, which I didn't even know if it was real or not at that time. In 2004, I was not sure if it was real or if it was just a joke because...
those are the good times. Back when men could watch My Little Pony and not be accused of things.
Exactly. Yeah, back when My Little Pony was innocent.
Back in 2004. The good old days.
The good old days. So we're going to jump forward now. We're going to jump forward in time to 2019.
Man, I never thought we'd be sitting in a place talking about 2004 and then have to say, now we're going to make quite a leap forward. Quite a leap. We were young children and now we are old men.
Yes. 2019 was the first of a scourge of incidents, which you may now open your email. A scourge of incidents that ended kind of in 2023. So in 2019.
Now, I don't look at
Nate.
rashes, Mike. I don't look at rashes, so I hope that's not what I'm about to open. Okay.
No.
I've got it up.
The article that you brought up is what brought this about.
Okay.
In 2019, it was the first incident.
The worrying rise of the Gimp men, how masked men clad from head to toe in latex have been terrifying women and girls in Somerset, Gloucester, Essex, and London.
Oh, yes. So, 2019.
Oh, and they got pictures of them.
There's a map. There's a Gimp map if you look closely.
I see the map.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All of the Gimp strikes.
All right.
In the UK.
Hold on. I'm booking us some flights. 1 second, Mike.
For those who are listening who want to read this on their own, which you don't have to because we're going to go over it.
Well, we can put the link in the description too.
Sure. If you just type in Daily Mail Gimp April 8th, 2024, you'll get the article. So a quick overview. In 2019, the Somerset Gimp made his first strike. Surgical strike. So, for those of you
skulking around a quiet cul-de-sac. Isn't language fun? The UK is in the grips of a Gimp man trend that sees no sign of stopping, with sightings across the country.
Oh, yes.
Perfect. All right. Keep going, Mike. Sorry.
So, there's multiple, well, we'll get there. The Somerset Gimp would go out at night in his suit. He would roll around the local parks.
To take the air.
Yeah. Go around the local parks and amusements at night. And he would find, presumably, a tourist. He would fall on the ground in front of them, grunt and flail around, soil himself, and crawl around rhythmically, if you will, if you understand my meaning.
Yes.
These incidents in Somerset occurred relatively randomly until 2023, when the Somerset Gimp was finally caught. Now, by his own admission, which he initially denied that he was the Somerset Gimp, even though he was caught in a Gimp suit with a van full of other Gimp suits. However, by his own admission, he found people at random 25 times in Somerset and did a performance for them at night while moaning and groaning and soiling himself in various ways.
And gyrating.
And gyrating, yes. The Gimp, you may know him, is Joshua Hunt. He's a gardener. And he's 32 years old.
Okay.
His punishment, this was the best part, was that he's banned for 5 years from crawling, wriggling, or writhing on the ground. He's also banned from owning or operating a Gimp suit for 5 years.
Okay. It seems like that's hard to enforce, for one. And
almost
two,
impossible, you would think.
Yeah. What's to say he's just not going to do it again in 5 years? Outside of the fact that he'd be, 37 and maybe not have the desire to do that again? I don't know.
Possibly. So it doesn't seem like that crazy of a punishment.
The clothing recovered from Hunt, who was convicted at court of being the Somerset Gimp.
Oh,
He's
yes.
got, dirty clothes. Yeah.
So the real story is that these weirdos in the UK now have several Gimp men striking in multiple locations. And according to the Somerset Gimp, they're not him.
To avenge Joshua Hunt.
to copycat him and avenge him, supposedly. Which our article, of course, has wonderful pictures of these Gimps taken by their victims. Which victim is a...
Yes.
None of them have been attacked or touched. They're just rolling around on the ground, moaning and acting interestingly. Probably be disturbing. Surprisingly, none of them got attacked or beaten up by anybody.
Well, it's England, so...
Right. Yeah, it's England. So they have a list.
If you look at the map, Mike, there's no way Joshua Hunt could go from London to Gloucester to Somerset to Sussex, all these places. I mean, they're on opposite sides of the country. It's got to be at least a 15-minute walk.
Exactly. That's what I initially thought too. I'm like, these people, it's like an hour drive or something from the one part of the country to the other part. Yeah. They're all in southern England, so... They could be. Apparently, there is a Gimp up in Scotland as well. That's not in this article.
Well, that makes sense.
Which Scotland, much less likely, even though it's only a couple-hour drive. But, some of them are also questionable.
Yeah.
So we covered Somerset.
Yeah, and trains go everywhere, so it's not like people couldn't get there. I was just making a little joke because, you can drive for, 4 hours and still be in Minnesota from almost anywhere,
Yeah, shortest cross-sectional is probably 4 hours. I would say.
Yeah, Texas takes like 2.5 days to get across, so.
Not necessarily the shortest cross-sectional, but yes.
No, not the shortest cross-sectional. I'm just saying, you can be in these states here and driving in a straight line not driving in circles just to say, oh, I drove for 18 hours and I'm still in Rhode Island. But,
Right.
you could actually go from like Minneapolis to, I don't know, Grand Marais, and that's several hours.
Right. Yeah. If you went from Worthington to Roseau, that's a haul. That's an all-day drive. But,
Yeah.
I think it takes 14 hours to get from tip to tip of the UK. And that knowledge is coming from watching not the Grand Tour. Oh, now I can't remember the name of the show that was on the BBC.
But that's
Top
riding on sheepback, though. So
yeah, right. Yes, that's taking a vehicle and not taking a train.
Yes, I remember I spent a month in London, and I took a train out to Stonehenge, and that was at least an hour train ride, maybe more. So
sure,
that would be a hell of a spot to put on a gimp suit performance. Dear diary.
Well, that's related. You must have read ahead.
Oh, no, I didn't actually. But before we read ahead, I think I'm about halfway with this thing.
It's terrible.
Yeah, just about halfway with this thing. It's not good. I was hoping for a midpoint flavor change, but it's kind of like licking an ashtray. Not that I've ever done that, but...
It's extremely acetone, unpleasant to taste.
Yes.
It does have a sweet top note.
Yeah. Not sweet enough. Is this its own brand? I know we have, I think, 3 of these Baccarats to smoke. Is this its own brand, or is this like a subline of Drew Estate or something?
Oh, I would have to look. I'm going to guess that it is...
You know what? I'll look that up and you gimp me, or whatever the phrase is. I don't know what these kids call it these days.
I think they call it gimping, this going around wearing a gimp suit, gimping around. So London had a gimp who went to the Globe Theatre in his gimp suit for the entire performance. And they didn't kick him out. He was allowed to do it, which fair on them. And people complained, and, they're whining because the UK isn't as free as us. But the theater did not kick them out, which I don't really see a problem with, because you're allowed to wear pajamas everywhere. So why wouldn't you be allowed to wear a gimp suit? I really don't think one's less appropriate than the other in public, really. So, pajama wearers of the world.
I can see where pajamas could be baggier and less revealing of anatomy, whereas a gimp suit might be more revealing. But
some pajamas are, really, and some pajamas are not.
Well, I know. But it's not different than going to the beach and seeing some overweight dude in a Speedo or something. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, this whole thing is kind of
watching the Olympics.
Right.
My time was 0.2 of a second slower. I had a boner. Too much water resistance.
This whole thing is kind of the point is that people in the UK are wussies because they can't handle watching somebody in a gimp suit walk around or whatever.
Yeah.
So we'll see. There's this next one is in Gloucester, which is a college town. And I don't consider this to be a real gimp because it was on Halloween. Somebody wore a gimp suit for Halloween at the college. Yeah. And they were walking around and they were seen in a group of people. So... is that really a gimp suit? I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's really a gimp suit, but the intent was probably not to go and terrorize and put on a public performance. They were probably just doing something a little cheeky, right? And saying, oh, we've had a gimp terrorist or what have you. It's been in the headlines. So no different than people here dressing up as the Bat Boy or whatever was on those tabloids, back in the early 2000s, right? Bat Boy lives, and it's this kid with bat ears or something.
Right. So... I wouldn't consider that to be a real gimp activity. Now, Essex, this is a real deal. This went viral during COVID-19 when this gentleman wore his gimp suit to the grocery store in order to be in compliance with the COVID-19 face restrictions.
Perfect. But again, I don't think he was doing that to terrorize. I think that was more of a peaceful protest.
It was more of a peaceful protest, yes.
Yes.
And
I should have thought of that during those times. But my body proportions are very strange. I don't know how stretchy is a gimp suit. Would I be able to fit in one, Mike? Maybe that'll be a special video we upload to our Patreon for our backers. Nate tries to get into a gimp suit.
I think it depends on what material it's made out of, because latex is going to stretch, but I don't think PVC or leather is going to. So we'll see.
Probably not in the way I would hope.
Yes. So the Gimp Man of Essex actually raised money for charity.
Okay.
and he officially retired his Gimp suit once the COVID restrictions were lifted. And apparently he's a normal guy who doesn't really.
Did he burn it in effigy or something? Or
I don't think so. I just think he promised that he wouldn't go to the grocery store in his Gimp suit anymore or whatever. Yep. So apparently there's several photos of him moving around. Right. Yeah. So he's retired. But still at large. Yes.
He did his tour of duty.
So this next one's also, I don't really call this a Gimp suit per se. So in March of 24 in Sussex, a female dog walker who does not want to be identified had an encounter with somebody wearing a balaclava and see-through tights. And apparently this person exposed themselves to the dog walker and then ran away.
Okay.
So that's more of a flasher.
Like a Gimp suit, though.
Yeah, that's not really a Gimp suit if you have a balaclava.
That's the Sussex flasher.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're kind of ginning up, would it be like panic, I suppose? I don't know how many active like flashers there are. Right.
I don't know.
I'm not aware.
But maybe we can find out later.
I'm not aware. Yeah. So this is a great one. In Suffolk, in March again. In Bungay, women and girls have been left fearing for their safety after they were followed by a masked man in a petty market town. Not petty.
Okay.
The terrified victims say the individual always wears the same clothes, which consist of a dark top, green combat trousers, green Wellington boots, and a hood and balaclava, right? And he actually follows these women around. Suit. Well, no, and he's actually scary because he follows them around and tries to follow them. You know, that's not a Gimp suit. That's a guy wearing what sounds like fatigues and gear and is being creepy.
Yeah, I think I don't know if it's the journalists or if it's the citizens or what it is, but it seems they're confusing Gimp suit and making that synonymous with somebody concealing their identity in any kind of clothing that obscures your face.
Yes. And apparently
I went to the
Oh, please go ahead.
I was going to say I went to the ski resort, and you will not believe all the Gimp suits going down the slopes, man. I couldn't see a single face.
Yes. Yeah, it's they're definitely conflating somebody wearing a balaclava and being a miscreant.
Yeah.
And somebody wearing a Gimp suit and being mildly inappropriate.
Yes. And
right?
and collapsing and putting on a sexual performance.
Yes. A fecal performance.
A sexual tinged performance.
Yes. Apparently there's been sightings up in Scotland as well, but those aren't in the article that I sent you.
Yeah, so this Joshua Hunt, he would go and then he would urinate and defecate on himself during these performances?
Oh, yes, most definitely.
Okay, and I imagine he just, hopped on the tube and went home afterwards?
No, he had a gardening van. He was a professional gardener, so he'd drive his work van at night to these big parks that he was a gardener at, and he would hide in the spots that a gardener would know, being a professional gardener.
Was he self-employed, or was he working? I mean, if they had the car load checked or something, wouldn't they just put two and two together?
I don't. They didn't say if he was self-employed or not. He might be a contractor.
Yeah. What if he was like a city employee? And they're like, I don't know. My God. Why is the gardener out late at night parked in this park? Hey, that's weird. It's right where that Gimp suit guy likes to do his stuff, but it's got to be a coincidence. I don't know.
Right? Yeah, just coincidental. People do stupid things when they have an obsession, so it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Very stupid things. So, did you find what you were looking for?
I did, which is more than Bono can say. So, apparently this is the Baccarat the Game, Rothschild. It's got a rating of 89 from Cigar Aficionado.
You're fucking joking me.
It's its own thing, and here... I'm not joking you, dude. And here on Cigars International, now Cigar Aficionado and Cigars International are not a sponsor. Let's put that out there. The Baccarat cigar here says, on Cigars International, always a safe bet. And it goes on to say, I've never had lady luck on my side when it comes to playing cards, but at least I know that in the cigar world, I can count on a W when I go for a few rounds of Baccarat. One of our best-selling Connecticut wrapped offerings. Baccarat is an extraordinary experience for the money. Over 900 members of Cigar International Nation have given this handmade a well-deserved 4.5 out of 5 rating. It says Meld these together with a beautiful Mexican binder, and you've got a recipe for success. A slightly sweet coffee taste comes through on each puff, staying cool to the end. But the coffee, in my opinion, not Cigar International words here, my words, is like from a gas station that's been left on overnight. A gas station coffee pot that's been left on overnight, and perhaps has a bat living in the filter basket. That's more what this cigar tastes like.
I can't believe it's rated 89. That's awful. But
the Undercrown Shade was a 91. So I think
true.
It just goes to show you that ratings are not always what one should go off of.
Right. Maybe we got a bad batch. I don't know.
I'm sure we did.
It's not very good.
It is not good. But I guess in the cigar world, much like whiskey or beer or coffee or anything you put in your mouth, everybody's tastes are different. So some people might like this. If you like what we smoke, or if you align somewhat with how we smoke or the cigars we tend to enjoy, you will probably not enjoy this one because we don't. But that doesn't mean you won't like it.
It's vile. It tastes like a cigar after you've let it go out and sit for a couple hours and then come back and try to relight it, which I've never
you let it
enjoyed.
go out on Friday evening, and then Monday around 4 p.m. you think, oh, I think I still have that cigar. Let me go light it again. And then it's gross.
It's bad.
Or
I don't know if I want to
up,
finish it.
I don't know. I'm just about to the wrapper, so I guess I'll finish it and see if maybe the last few inches are what gave it the 89.
It's getting better, only because
it's not.
It's being overtaken, at least
only
in my mouth, by ash flavor instead of pure acetone.
Yeah.
And
I think it's getting better only because the remainder of the cigar left to smoke is getting shorter. So my brain is like, hey, we only have to suffer through this a little bit longer.
Right. It's still not something that I would want to smoke, but...
No. I would rather have Joshua Hunt come and do a performance for me in front of my feet than smoke this.
Yes.
As long as he would also smoke something on the show and we could talk to him after. That would be fun.
Yes. So now do you know why I didn't want you to look at the article I sent you?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I do.
So that's all I had because I wasn't sure how much you would have input in. You know, I don't know your Gimp expertise.
Little do you know, I'm wearing one right now. I had to cut a little hole so I could smoke my cigar.
Yes. I will
I'm not telling you which orifice I'm using to smoke my cigar.
That's right. Oh, man.
No wonder it tastes so bad.
Mm-hmm.
No, and now, so Gimp is not... Like, is the term gimp suit, is that considered offensive then to modern audiences? Or is that okay, but calling somebody a gimp is out of line?
I would say
did we
that
land
one.
on that?
I would say that one.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that depending on its usage would relegate whether it's offensive or not. Because the Daily Mail had no problem
I guess to be fair, like, yeah. I mean, I guess depending on who you're talking with or your audience or I don't know, your colleagues that you're surrounded with. The gimp suit would be as offensive as saying dildo, probably, but not necessarily more so. You know, ball gag isn't inherently offensive, but it is maybe not the terms one would use in polite conversation, perhaps. Not
what's
really
the polite term that you would use
anymore, but
for this kind of suit? Oh,
boy, that is a trap because I would not be talking about this kind of suit at work. I would probably have to say something along the lines of, those green screen suits that people wear so they're invisible in front of like the weather stuff.
You know, there
was a slew of those people, right? They would like streak, not really streak, but they'd run across like a football field, but they'd be in one of those green suits.
I never
or
heard
something,
of that.
And that would you can see through them because they're like loosely knit. They're like that athletic material kind of stuff, you know.
Oh, sure, they're like many people's
you can
pajamas.
see through it, but it's like a green screen suit, so you can put it on and be invisible. So there was an example of a weatherman who wore the green suit pants. And then put a cloud belt on, so it looked like he was just floating in a cloud because you couldn't see his feet because the green screen cut it out and put the weather map down there, you know. And another one where they wore a green suit and put a skeleton in front of it, so it looked like they were a skeleton sitting there and their head was, attached to it. So I know there was a slew of that stuff here in the States. I thought with people with the green suits kind of causing some mischief. So I guess if I had to talk about this at work, which would be very strange, I would probably say, hey, you know those green suits people wear that are kind of like a head-to-toe bodysuit thing? It's like that, but it's black and maybe has some other uses.
Sure.
I don't know.
And I probably, unlike Nate, just wouldn't talk about it at work. You know?
I said I wouldn't talk about it, but if I had to, for some reason,
somehow if it came up,
I do have a work presentation coming up, so maybe I'll have to work in Gimp suit.
Is that similar to the Meow game?
Yeah, except nobody at my work has a sense of humor, at least not on my team, so it wouldn't go very far. But I kind of miss those days where we were all in the office. I don't miss being in the office. But you could have a little bit more fun with things. And now everybody's so like their own little island. And joking is no more.
Yeah, you know, not everything can stay the same forever. Rest in peace, Somerset Gimp suit man. Rest in peace.
Yep. He's still alive.
Yes, he is. He is still alive, I suppose.
And he's what? He's only got 4.5 years left on his ban.
Something like that,
Maybe we'll see him again. Gimp Suit Man Returns, the sequel.
Yeah, when that one rolled across my purview, I was like, oh my God, this is great.
Fantastic. Oh, hey, why don't we do what we did for the Brony episode? How much does a Gimp suit cost, Mike?
Oh, geez. I'm sure that there's a variety. I can look it up.
Yeah, look it up. You've already got the browser algorithms for Brony fuck dolls, so might as well get the Gimp suit one, too, just to round it out. He's a well-rounded pervert.
Yes. Oh, they will.
That's what Zuckerberg thinks.
Yes, it is. $25. You can get a cheap one for $25.
Hey!
I know, right?
That's cheap enough. You wouldn't even have to wash the one you shit in.
No. Here's one for $40
you
and it
could
covers
just throw that
face.
thing away and buy a new one.
Yeah, you don't even need a mask. It comes with a mask for $40.
Hell yeah.
Here's one with the appropriate parts missing for $11.65.
Or the inappropriate parts missing, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
Ha
Oh, yes. Yes. So apparently they're really cheap.
Yeah, a lot cheaper than I was led to believe. I suppose like a leather one would be fairly expensive.
Yeah. Well, here's another PVC one that comes with some metal attachments and a ball gag for $41 plus $13.66 shipping.
With a ball gag, right?
Right. And it comes from Great Britain.
That's when you'd probably wash.
Yeah.
It could be the one that was worn by the Sussex Gimp suit man.
It could be. It could be a collector's item.
Yeah. Could come pre-stained.
Oh, geez. So apparently it's pretty cheap, depending on the kind you want.
Yeah. I mean, as far as, and I don't know this, I've heard tell, sex toys can get pretty expensive. So to be able to get something like this for $11, $20 is a pretty good deal.
Yeah. No, I agree. So very reasonably priced for those of you who are interested in becoming the whatever Roseville Gimp Man. Or Rochester Gimp Man, or wherever you're at.
Your local town Gimp Man.
Yes, Stillwater Gimp Man.
So women typically don't wear the Gimp suits, huh?
No, usually it's the guys. That's all out of the BDSM. The guys are the ones that get the whip, you know?
Yeah. That's discussing where. Where is this happening? I'm just kidding. Anyway, I'm not saying I want to see this happen in the news headlines, but I would love to see this happen in the news headlines, to have a female Gimp suit wear to really break down the stigma of BDSM, and to have a woman go and like put on the performance with the shit and the piss and the gyrating and stuff. Because I think that would be maybe more terrifying. Maybe not. I don't know. But if you're in the UK and you're a female who wants to see what the reaction is like, I don't know. We'll see if the Daily Mail covers it.
Right. It would be very interesting to find out what the reaction would be. Yes, I don't think people would be as offended.
Maybe not.
I don't think so.
Possibly not.
So, how close are you to done with your cigar? You got to be there.
I was done with the cigar probably 5 puffs in, but I'm still smoking it. I can keep smoking it, or we can stop smoking it and move on with our lives.
I have about 1.5 inches left, and it's starting to taste like nothing because my mouth just tastes terrible. Yeah, so I can't taste it anymore. This is not getting better as it goes along. I think you're just blocking it out. Possibly. You went to your happy Gimp place. So, yes. Oh, it's bad. Yeah. We could be done with this one. It's not good. No, it's not. And it'll be a short episode, but I'm sure that nobody's going to complain. Yeah.
Our format is when the cigars are done, we're done with our topic, but sometimes we're done with the cigars before the cigars are done with us. And that's the case with this one. I don't know. I think the Underground Shade is somehow still worse than this one, but not by much.
You dislike that Underground Shade more than I did. So I can't give an accurate assessment.
Well, I don't know. Maybe they're about the same then. I don't know. They're both bad. This one's not good. This one is not good.
Yeah, I would not recommend.
It leaves that bad taste on your tongue, like this one does. Like, oh, it's so
I have a bad taste
like
on my tongue and on the roof of my mouth. Like it's like coating my mouth with badness.
It's not. Yeah, it's not a good one.
No, do not like. No. Do not recommend, people.
Nope. There are a lot of other things you can put in your mouth that are better than this, like a rock, a pebble, a blade of grass, a handful of dirt. I don't know. Lots of things that taste better than this.
Pine needles, way better.
Pine needles, anything. A dandelion.
Just about anything. I would not recommend it. It's worse than a Swisher Sweet. It's worse than... I would rather smoke a cigarette and not inhale it and just puff it into my mouth and pretend like it tastes good than this.
Okay, wait, now here's a question for you, Mike. Would you rather smoke this, or would you rather smoke the Cult Blood Red Moon cigar?
The Cult Blood Red Moon was vile. That was actively vile. This is not good.
This is still pretty vile, but it's not as... It doesn't provoke the same like physical response as the Cult Blood Red Moon. Yeah, in my body.
Well,
it's close. It's close.
That was a double dose, the Cult Blood Red Moon, because I expected it to be good.
Yeah, it had.
And it was awful. And I had no expectations.
It's flavored. And it's flavored, Right. So I feel like if you do flavored cigars well, it can be really good. And if you mess it up, it can be Cult Blood Red Moon bad.
Right. So I think that's all for us.
That's it. You know what? I put mine out and good riddance. And hopefully my new Gimp suit will be here in a few days. Thanks for listening.
Be safe. Have fun.